First Step.
Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Kevin. Welcome to a very special episode of the First Step podcast, July 4th. With me as always, the Water Department's number one most wanted, Javi.
What's up, guys? Ready for 4th of July? Excited?
Ready for 4th of July, man. I love this weekend. I think for me, 4th of July is always like summer's hit. It's time. I mean, I feel like in Miami, it's summer all the time, but it feels extra special on 4th of July.
Summer, like this is peak summer.
Yeah.
At least in Miami, like 4th of July, everybody goes to the beach, the Keys, there's barbecues, pool parties, boat days. At least down here. I know some other places in the country are different, but Miami,
Miami does 4th of July. It's different here. We have a lot of second generation Americans, first generation Americans, second generation Americans, people that are very happy that they are Americans, people that feel honored to be American. So we come out in full stride on 4th of July and we get pumped. We don't take it for granted. That's for sure.
That's why I got all the USA gear. I got the Ryder Cup gear. I got the soccer gear.
I see that. I love the Ryder Cup gear. I love the USMNT.
Not so much the men's soccer gear right now.
I love the gear. The gear is great. Let's tap into that a little bit. I don't want to do such a deep dive on U.S. men's soccer. I feel like they've been going through it right now. The last a few days now since they've been eliminated from the Copa America. We talked about them on the last pod. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you did. I think this part of the pod you should just clip it and show last pod where I was like, "Hey, you think US can win?" go on, and then just go back to this pod. So and that's basically, and that's our segment on US soccer. That's about as much as we fucking know.
Truthfully, here's the thing, dude. We've never had such a talented team like we did for this Copa America. When we're talking about pure talent, our players, the people playing on the team, very talented, have all the stars. Man, but they just can't put it together. Again, I think it's a coaching issue. We talked about how Berhalter just doesn't seem that guy. He was hired to avoid a lawsuit, and I think we could have done a lot better. We saw, Jesse Marsch was a guy that we were talking about hiring.
Wait, hold on. Excuse my ignorance. Why?
Do you remember there was like Greg Reyna, who plays on the team, right?
Yeah, I know Reyna.
There was an issue where he was having an issue with the coach at the time. Sorry, Gio Reyna. There was some domestic.
Yeah, I remember hearing that, but it was like, that was stupid. That was like
years ago.
It was years ago. It was like coach's parents it was like the players' parents getting mad at coach, like modern day equivalent of, "Oh, you're not giving my son enough playing time," kind of thing.
Yeah, so they basically hired Berhalter just to like simmer things down. That might not be true.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's my opinion. But it's whatever. He wasn't the right guy, and I still think he's not the right guy. Bro, this is a very young team, and this team does whatever the hell they want. You could tell the style play that we're doing just doesn't make sense for this type of team that we have. They're trying to shoot the ball up. They're trying to possess the ball like 80% of the game, 60% of the game, and they're just not that skilled. That's not the type of style players we have. We're like a defense mind. We do have goal scorers like Pulisic and all these guys, but that's not the type of team we're doing. We don't look like a team. We have very good players, but we don't have a team mindset. And we saw it happen, right?
That's on that's on coaching. At the end of the day,
that's on coaching. You only have these guys for a limited amount of time, right? Like all these guys have way bigger things on their plate than the men's national team, and you have them for 4 days, 3 days at a time. You have to do simple schemes that could beat other teams, more well-prepared teams right. Like Uruguay, teams like Colombia, teams Argentina, Mexico. All these teams, they really work on their national team, right? That's their shtick. And we didn't do it, and we saw the result here. This team should have made a run for it, and they couldn't. They couldn't get it done.
Yeah, it's sad to see. I feel like this is just the story for U.S. soccer. I feel like we always have, especially recently, we have these teams with these rosters that look a lot better now. And I think that had to do a lot with the Jurgen Klinsmann era, where I think he did a lot for this program and really turned them into the right direction. And then you've just seen a U.S. team that I would say they only win the games they've never won. Not even, because they were supposed to win some of these games in this tournament, and
Sure.
they didn't. The Panama game was inexcusable. Uruguay, yes, they're a good team, but in a must-win game for a team like Uruguay, it's a meaningless game for them, and it's a must-win for US. You'd like to think that we could, we don't come out and get a 1-0 loss, and it just looked
Mhm.
like a disaster for this team.
Mhm.
And you've seen this team now. I feel like uh, in the last 4 years. How long has Berhalter been the coach? 4 or 5 years now.
5 years.
5 years now. I feel like we haven't won a game that we haven't won one of these games that we're technically not supposed to win. You never see that. You should at least see US every once in a while win one of these games.
Oh, I
That
don't think we
that
beat anybody. I don't. I think the only top 15
we
team
haven't.
we beaten was Mexico in the last 4 years or something like that. Like we haven't
and
done
Mex-
anything.
and Mexico is looking worse than we are right now.
Yeah,
They're just as big of a shit show. They're not even in the World Cup this year.
yeah, yeah.
They
I
were
mean,
they're us in the last World Cup.
yeah. I mean,
So
we're getting lucky that we get a spot in this World Cup coming up. We're about to host the World Cup. We've got 2 years to do it, man. So I don't know if there will be a coaching change. At this point, it's late to change a
I
coach.
don't think they're not going to do anything.
But man, I would real truthfully, and I heard this in a podcast. It's true, right? United States does not care about soccer that much. Unfortunately, as a fan base, we don't have those fans that are gonna be attacking our officials and stuff like that because our team's not doing well. I
I would say
think
that the average soccer fan cares. American soccer fan cares about U.S. soccer a lot more now, though. Not like
That's absolutely
before.
true. That's absolutely true. But we're not. It's never going to beat the big four, right? Like you're not going to be more popular than football. You're not going to be more popular than baseball, hockey, and I'm missing one that's not coming up to me. Basketball.
Basketball. Jesus, man.
Basketball. I know. Listen, it's July 4th
Drink our
weekend. Give me a
coffee,
break, man.
dude. Good lord.
It's July 4th weekend here, dude. Give me a break. You're
I'm
lucky
kidding.
I don't
Kidding.
drinking bourbon to the face right now.
You should be
Oh, I should be. I so should be. It's
happy for it.
you son of a gun, dude. You son of a gun.
Uh,
Yeah, man. I think U.S. men's soccer's in a bad place. I think they have 2 years to figure it out. We have the players. We have the skill. I want to see them make a run. I want to see at least get out of the freaking group stage. Like I want to see it. I want to see a run. I really do. I'm really
Yeah.
hoping the best for them. My heart goes out to them. In the same conversation, let's talk Copa America. We have a lot of good games. Argentina is playing Ecuador. Argentina looks freaking phenomenal. I don't see them losing. Uruguay, we just talked about them beating the Americans. Uruguay also looks very good. We have a friend of ours. He has them favored to win the whole thing. Another team that I really like is Colombia this year, man. I think James is playing
He's
out.
back, huh?
Oh,
I-
buddy, baby. He is
is
playing
James back?
out of his freaking league right now. He is playing great. I really do think how it's set up right now. You got a Colombia, Argentina run at the final. I think next, I do have Colombia winning and Uruguay winning over Brazil. I just don't think Brazil. I think Brazil's a little lopsided this year. I like Colombia versus Uruguay, and I really do think Colombia is going to pull that off. And we're going to have a little Colombia, Argentina.
That would be very fun for at least the city of Miami, just because we have
Oh, so much
such
Colombians.
so
Many
such a big
Colombians.
presence, just such a big Argentinian and Colombian presence here.
Oh,
Like
it's
you're
great.
gonna have some like that. That's actually a super fun game to go watch. Go to one of
Yeah.
these places like in Doral where you have a lot of
Exactly.
Colombians and stuff, where the place is just gonna be going crazy. You got the beautiful Colombian women everywhere in the soccer jersey.
It's like
Man,
I hate
Miami's
to
gonna be
say
a
it.
great time.
I hate to say it, man, but I think I would go. I think Miami should go for Argentina because of Messi. But man, I would also. James is playing great. I would love to see him win too. Toss him. I don't know who to root for here. Venezuela, Canada also should be a lot of fun to watch. I do think Venezuela will beat them. I think Venezuela has the advantage in pretty much everywhere. So I think Venezuela might be able to pull that off and then probably pay Argentina next week. Canada, though, I think they've done a really good job. I think Jesse Marsh, who was the guy that we're talking about,
Yeah,
he was up
he
for
should have
the
been.
USA
He
job.
was up
Yeah.
for our job.
Yeah, he's American. He should have been our coach. I think he's done a really good job building up that program, but I don't think they have what it takes to beat Venezuela. So,
No, but imagine if he had our players.
oh yeah, no. Again,
Imagine him. Imagine him.
I don't
let
want
me
to
see.
imagine it. I don't want to imagine it. I don't want to imagine it. On the other side of the great ocean, we have the Euros have been a lot of fun. We have
Way more fun than Copa
yes.
America so
A,
far.
a lot of surprises in the Euros too. We talked about it on this pod. Hondo came on and talked about it on the pod. He had Portugal as his favorite. Man, let me tell you, Portugal does not look as good as they should. Ronaldo has been he looks bad. Not bad, but he doesn't look great.
For Ronaldo, we're just used to him being a machine.
Yeah, his free kicks aren't the best part of his game, but he didn't make them. They were free kicks. You had that shot and you miss them.
You mean the
You,
penalties?
yeah, either Slovenia has the best goalkeeper of all time, or Portugal just shit the bed on that one. I don't know what to tell you. I don't,
That was a wild. I thought he was like when he missed the first one. I was like, oh, he's gonna cry he's gonna cry on
dude.
TV.
He straight up cried on TV.
Yeah,
He's emotional right now, man. It's his last, supposedly his last Euros. I hope it's his last Euros.
How old is he now? 30, 39 or something like
He's
that.
39, I think. Yeah, 39.
He's up there.
He's up there in age for sure.
God, he looks so much better than we both do. He's 39. Holy shit! Holy shit!
Dude, it's not even. That's not even.
I
a
wonder how
fucking
people. I
fair
wonder how old
comparison,
people
dude.
think.
Dude, that's not even a fair comparison, dude. He looks so much better than us. It's ridiculous. That's not even. I don't even want to think about that.
25.
Yeah, dude, he looks
Jesus.
great. So you have France playing Portugal. That game should be very good. If Portugal does step up, I mean, they have that very young team. They have a lot of scores. France has a lot of scores. I like the over on that. Or no, I take that back. France hasn't been scoring that much. I'm actually going to take the under on goals. It's probably at 2.5. I'm going to take the unders on the goals. I think France wins 1-0 on that game. But I really like France there. France has a better defense than Slovenia. Way better defense. They have better scores than Slovenia. I don't think Portugal has what it takes unless they get it together and figure out what they're going to do. Maybe stop passing the ball to Ronaldo so much and actually start focus on scoring the goal. We saw Ronaldo pass the ball and he gave up a goal so that they can score. And I feel since then they've been trying to pass the ball to Ronaldo so that he could get one. And it's, dude, just keep scoring. Just do what you were doing before. But I do like France there. In the best game of the weekend is going to be Germany. Spain's playing lights out. They're playing great. They're playing really well. A lot better than I thought they were going to do. And then Germany's the home team, right? Who do you give the advantage to there? I like Spain.
I like Spain too right now.
Yeah, I don't think
young,
Germany has it.
They're good. The way they're playing, the way they're winning. I'm not sure if they've really been that tested yet, but
no, they had what, Georgia. No, they haven't really been tested, but
they've handled these teams. They've been, and I get a part of it is the style they play because they just possess the ball. If they could do it 90% of the game, they will do 700 passes in a game. But they've looked pretty. They're supposed to dominate these teams, and they've dominated them.
They put up 4 goals against Georgia.
That young Spain team playing against the home team, Germany.
That's going to be the best game. I think it's on Friday at 12. It's going to be the best game pretty much of the weekend. On Saturday is England and Switzerland. England, they've been.
They don't. I still think they're the best team.
How can I explain it with England?
They haven't played it.
Yes, they've got it. They've been skimming by on the skin of their teeth, and they're going to play Switzerland now.
They're pulling very much like a New York Yankees type thing here. Where
yes, they need to start putting people to sleep.
Sexiest roster in the world, and they're good.
They're not putting it together. It's the
they're
difference between them and the U.S. men's national team is they're actually winning games and scoring. In our case, we can't score, so they're drawing, they're scoring, they're winning.
They're figuring out how to get by until they figure it out.
Yes. So again, remember we talked about it last week. They're on the easier side. They're on the easier bracket to go into the finals. They're playing Switzerland now, and then the winner between the Netherlands and Turkey. Netherlands have played really well last week. Yesterday. They played really well yesterday. They scored 3 against Romania. I like Netherlands. I've always liked that team. I think they always ended up shitting the bed though. So I'm really hoping that England puts it together, takes out Switzerland, then takes out the Netherlands. Even though Turkey plays really well too, but I do think the Netherlands do have the edge there. Yours have been a lot of fun to watch, man. So again, I still think it's going to be Spain, England at the end. in the finals, and
That would be that would be an awesome
that
final.
would be a phenomenal final there. I think it would be like what, the 14th of July or something, the final. So I think that'll be a lot of fun to watch. And honestly, the way Spain's playing right now, I'm gonna give it to Spain if that ends up being the final. I'm gonna give it to Spain.
Yeah, I could right now. Spain's kind of the team that I'm pulling for. They're the team I've had the most fun watching in the Euros.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
them and Portugal, just because Hondo, he put us on at the beginning.
He got me so hyped up, man. I even had a
Yeah.
future on Portugal.
I have a few. I had a future on Portugal. I have a future there too. But excuse me. But yeah, I think now I've been all over Spain now for a good part of this tournament
for about 2 weeks now. I've been
on the Spain bandwagon.
On the Spain bandwagon. And usually I'm always like, oh, Spain. All Cubans think they're Spanish. So to me, it was like, man, I don't really want that heat.
Exactly.
But here I am, man.
My father-in-law's a huge Spain guy. He's all about Spain soccer. And
there it is. The Real Madrid lovers.
Real Madrid. Yeah, I'm a Madrid fan because of that. So
yeah, there it is. There it is. It's always the same. I think in regards for soccer and national soccer, I think we're okay. I think we should move on to the free agency wildness of the NBA, off-season moves and lack thereof from our Miami Heat. Talk to me, Bubba.
I don't even know what to say anymore, man. I don't even know
say.
what
I mean,
to say.
We could talk about it, but there's really nothing to talk about for the Heat.
There's nothing to talk about. Let's just, lock and load, running it back, baby. Woo! Here we go again.
Do you have
Bam, Butler, Rozier, Hero, Caleb Martin? We're coming for you.
I'm not taking back anything that I've been said about Bam because you know my stance there on Bam. But what really bothers me is that we still have Hero on our freaking roster. How does this guy not just go away?
Because nobody wants him.
know. Just get rid of him.
Okay, hold on. People will take Tyler Hero because he's not a bad player. He's just not a piece that fits, one, with us, and two, he's just not. I don't think he's the third guy that we need right now. I think but I think there's definitely a place for him in the NBA. He's a scorer. He's a good player. Whatever. I just don't think anyone wants him because of the contract we gave him. I think it was stupid to give him that 129 million dollars that we gave him. I think we're just going to end up having to eat that unless we find a team that wants to make. It's got to be one of these like multi-team trades with. Mm-hmm. And look, the truth is, this Miami Heat team, we give them a lot of stuff for not making any moves, and I agree we should make moves. But this entire Jimmy and Bam era, this front office has hamstrung themselves. Like, we don't have assets to play with. We haven't had assets to play with, really.
Yeah, I think for the last, let's see, Jimmy Butler came in 2019. So the year.
But we have no draft picks. And the guys that we have, if you think over the years, all these guys that have come in, they've been role players for other teams, journeymen in the NBA that have come in. They get into the Heat culture, which just basically just whips them into shape.
Yeah, true.
Everybody leaves Miami in the best shape of their career, basically. So you come here, you're working hard, you're in the Heat camps and the Heat culture and all that stuff. They have these good years, and then they go get paid somewhere else. But they're not really. They're just guys that go and get contracts elsewhere. They're not like guys that people really want to trade. They're not pieces like, oh my God, we'll trade you for Caleb Martin straight up. No. Nobody fucking wants that.
No, we don't even have draft picks this year, and we have a high salary. Again, I've talked about this with my eyes closed all the time.
At this point, we go after players that are under contract still. We try to trade for them. I feel like this we don't even go after free agents anymore.
Think about it. Since Butler, we had Kyle Lowry was our biggest pickup. Maybe
that's not even a big pickup.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, since Butler, that's been the biggest pickup. And I remember even when we picked up Butler, it was like, oh, okay, like the guy from Chicago, he plays well. Okay, it wasn't that big of a hype. Like, it was a great signing. Hindsight's 2020. Within the last 5 years, we've gone to 2 finals.
Yeah, we're also coming off the Big Three era, so this is also a Heat fan base that was extremely spoiled.
We were super spoiled.
Fair.
No, it was after the Whiteside era. So it was
but it doesn't matter that we're so used to, as a Heat like fan base. We have been spoiled when it comes to free agents for a lot of years. We had the Shaq era. First, you had Riley come in. We got Zoe and those big signings back then.
So hard.
Those were big splashes back then. Then you had
Mhm.
the whole Shaq trade, and we ended up getting Shaq. And then you had the whole big three era when we got Bosh and LeBron. Like we've always done really well with free agents for a long time. And then after the big three era, it's everyone's like, you know what, fuck you, Heat. You know, it's like, yeah, you guys are spoiled. You guys had it really good. You guys got the big three. We're not going to do business. Like, it's almost like nobody wants to do business with us anymore. I don't know if that's a reflection. I don't even know if that's true. That's just what it feels like as a fan. Because we go after free agents. We're never really in the best position to get free agents because
Mhm.
of the money and all that. Again, that's front office's problem. Then when we do try and trade for guys, it's almost like the rest of the league is like, fuck you, Miami. Nah, we're not gonna do. Like we saw what happened with the Dame situation. Like the
Right.
Bucks were just like, nah, we're not gonna trade him to the Heat.
Literally.
Why? Because F you. And
I
I don't
think
know if
the
that
issue.
was to stick it to Dame or if that's something with Riley. And the reason why I don't think it's an isolated incident is because we've seen that happen a bunch now. Like we can't really bring anyone in.
You could argue Donovan Mitchell re-signing. He mentioned that he wanted to come. He wasn't technically available, but were there conversations even happening about getting him here? I don't know. You're right.
We
I
could also
feel
just been a stalking horse there, where they were just trying to use. They just use us for leverage. We'll say, I'm a
absolutely,
friend and I want to go
absolutely.
to the Heat.
The problem is the East keeps getting better, right? Like Philly just signed Paul George. That makes Philly better.
The NBA, everyone's getting better. Not just
LeBron
the East.
LeBron just signed his son, drafted his son. They're getting better.
Yeah, okay.
How do you feel about the NBA draft this year?
Whatever, man.
It was a
Honestly,
weak draft, right? Like there isn't
like,
super exciting
can I be
players to
honest?
watch.
Can I be honest with you? I was busy celebrating a cup at the time. I
There's
wasn't
true.
paying attention. I wasn't really paying attention to the NBA. No, look, we talked about it last week too. It just there wasn't a lot of hype to the draft this year. There wasn't
Nobody.
huge players. There wasn't big splash players. Like the biggest story of the draft was, unfortunately, it was Bronny James.
And
The
nobody. What are we
the
talking about?
55th pick in the draft was the biggest pick, and that was the biggest story.
One thing I've been thinking of lately is, bro, it seems like LeBron James just runs the Lakers franchise, right?
He does
Like
it with every team he's gone to.
not the Heat. He didn't do it with the Heat.
Well, that's why he ended up leaving.
Do you think that's why he ended up leaving? Because he wasn't ever going to control us like
I think that was part of
he
it.
controlled the Cavs. Now he's controlling but even the Lakers. I mean, we're talking about a franchise that's been around and has more prestige than the Heat by far, and he's just got.
Yeah, but it's not about prestige. It's not about prestige. It's about the person that's running the organization. The difference is the Lakers. It's not what's his name anymore. I'm trying a blank. It's the
Phil
daughter.
Jackson.
No,
Oh, the owner.
the owner. Before you wouldn't really. It's like Pat Riley. Now you're dealing with Pat Riley. Nobody's really gonna fuck with Pat Riley. You know what I mean? LeBron's not gonna be able to run the organization. Pat Riley's not gonna let him.
Right.
You go to the Lakers, they're gonna do whatever the fuck LeBron wants. There's no personality at the top that's gonna be like, no, LeBron, fuck you. I'm just as big of an alpha,
Yeah.
which we know Riley has no problem doing. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because I don't know if at this point guys just don't want to come and play with fucking Riley.
I don't think that's it at all. I
I
don't
don't think
think.
it's at all, but it just goes back to what we were saying about the Heat. This whole LeBron thing. We go back to what we were saying about the Heat, and we're not going to get into why he left and all that.
But we're talking about like LeBron James put in a coach there that he has a podcast with, and JJ Redick. I'm not hating on that pick. I'm just saying it looks weird. Removes coaches when he wants, gets the player he wants to play with. There was even mentioning of him lowering his. He just signed a max deal now, but they were talking about lowering his salary just so he could pick up Clay Thompson or something like that off the free agency, somebody he wanted to play with. I feel like this guy, they draft who he wants to draft. They grab players who they want him to play with. Coaches that he wants to be coached by. They probably run plays that he wants to run. At some point, are you going to be like, okay, when's this LeBron experiment?
Look, he brought them a championship.
Dude.
I know, but he brought them a championship and whatever bubble championship. But he still brought them. He still brought them a title.
He beat our ass for it,
and he beat us for it. And it's not like he's LeBron James. It's not like he doesn't have pull. It's not like he's not great. Right? Like look what we're talking about here. And he's done definitely run just about every franchise he's been on. He didn't necessarily run the Heat, but we did a lot for him too. Like he mentioned Norris Cole. We went on and drafted Norris Cole in the first round.
Yeah, I
Where's
think our
that guy? Guys, we're
offense.
gonna
I
win
think
Dixie
our
now.
offense ran around him.
So
Right,
you're gonna
where
build. You're
Spo,
gonna build the team around him. You are.
but
Yes.
but in the Lakers case specifically, and I'm sure this was the way in the Cavs too. It feels like what he says goes, and that's it. There's no one to go against him.
Who are you gonna go? Yeah, I agree with that. But that's part of, like we said, that's part of just not having anyone there that can do that. You don't have anyone in that front office.
You don't have anybody with the name.
Yeah, you don't have anyone with the name. You need, if you're not gonna have a name, and there's no other. There's very few Phil Jacksons, Pat Riley's, Spoelstra's, Pop. Like there's only so many of them, and right now there just aren't a lot. So who are you gonna get as a coach? You're gonna just you can't get a guy that's trying to prove himself.
No, yeah.
Unless it's LeBron's guy that's trying to prove himself. Then you bring him in.
That's true. What's the name of the guy they had there?
Because I can think about the Lakers. Okay, so we need a new coach. Let's bring in and I'm not like defending LeBron. I don't necessarily think that it's good that he pulls all the strings. But I'm just saying, from the Lakers standpoint, like you have LeBron, you have the greatest superstar in the league. You want to try and give him one or two more chances to win a title. You're basically just going to go to him and say, okay, man, I know you only got a couple years left. What do you feel like you need to win? And he's say, okay, look, you're not going to go get Spo or one of these big coaches. I don't even think LeBron wants a coach like that at this point. So he's going to say, okay, let's bring in a coach that I know that I'm going to like, that I know that is going to play the way I want to play, all that. And I think that's how they landed on JJ Redick. I don't know how it's going to work out.
I'm super interested to see it because
I am too.
Redick's got a lot of basketball knowledge, right? Like,
so that's my thing. Like he's getting crushed by the media and everyone's, what are you doing? You heard a lot of that because of his experience. Mm-hmm. Oh, this guy's a coach more than fourth graders. Like literally, that's what they're saying. Go on ESPN and stuff.
When you've been in the league that long,
but if you talk. If you have listened to his podcast at all, like JJ Redick knows basketball. That dude knows basketball
more than most.
He's a smart guy. He's a Duke graduate. He knows the business side of basketball. He understands the business side of basketball. He's well spoken. He could be a good fit. Do I think that maybe he needed to have a little bit of experience under him? Sure, but look, we've seen other players do this, like Jason Kidd. He didn't really have coaching experience, and he went in. Look, he's doing just fine.
Oh yeah.
We just saw him in the finals.
Yeah.
So was it rough for him to start? Was that whole Brooklyn thing a mess, or the New Jersey? Was it a mess? Was it Brooklyn he was with first, or New Jersey? No, it was Brooklyn.
Oh no! Yeah, wait, was he with New Jersey first? No, I think it was with Brooklyn first.
Yeah, I forgot. Whatever. But I know at the beginning it was rocky for him. You saw some of the antics. Like, you remember the video where
he threw the water?
No, he was grabbing a drink and he tells his player, bump into me.
Oh, that's what it was. Bump into me.
He get like a free timeout. They had to clean the floor.
I knew it was something. I thought he dropped it, but yeah, right.
Hey, that's pretty slick. Hey, that's smart coaching. But it's worked before, and you're giving JJ Redick, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. It wouldn't
he could only go so bad, right?
I wouldn't be shocked if it worked out.
Yeah, I know. I assume they're a playoff team.
And if it blows up in their face, and whatever. Hey, look, LeBron's gone in a couple years anyway. We're going to rebuild it. I mean, I feel like that's what the Lakers are looking like. Look, we're going to have to rebuild this bitch anyway because LeBron's got, a couple years left and he's going to retire?
I don't know, bro. That guy's a robot.
But I know, but he's open. He is starting to say more and more that, like,
his body's hurting. He's got what?
It's coming.
I think he just signed a 2-year extension.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, he probably has 1 year for Bronny to be in the G League, and then hopefully Bronny comes in, and then they play one game together, and then he retires.
We'll see. Yeah, if they win a championship, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see, man. Again, I'm excited for the NBA season coming up. I do think the Heat need to do. I'm not saying to make a move just to make a move, but I just want to see upgrades. I just want to see upgrades either in the point guard, in the power forward position. I just want to see an upgrade somewhere. I want shooters.
That's what I want. Man. I don't know who we're going to get. I don't know who's left. Like, you saw a lot of names being moved around, a lot of big names. If you just look what's left out there, we're linked to DeMar DeRozan. I don't think that's going to work with money-wise, or I'm not even sure he's a good fit. He's good defensively. He's good offensively. We do need the help offensively, but
it's also still we're talking about we're in the third week of the offseason here, or the third day of the trade day. So we'll see.
It's a perfect time to panic, okay? Can you just fucking let me panic a little?
You just love to panic. Listen, just get on the hype from the Stanley Cup Finals. Just stay on that hype for another, probably until next hockey season.
Which is starting it's right around the corner. Like
It's
we just
right around
had,
the corner,
it's
baby.
actually crazy if you want to jump into NHL already, but how the Stanley Cup ended and
Free
a
agency
week,
ripped off.
3 days later, free agency started. I
Yeah.
feel like the Panthers, some of these guys haven't even had a chance to finish celebrating their Stanley Cup, and they're already moving on to other teams.
Oh yeah, they
It's
were
been
already
a
talked about
while.
Montour leaving, and
First day of free agency was wild for hockey. It was, I don't know, because of the salary,
Predators, the Capitals.
the money that was thrown around was wild for the first day.
I didn't get any of it.
I didn't get a single dollar, but you saw some big moves. You saw
Did see
Nashville
some
go
moves.
crazy. They got Stamkos. They got Marchessault. They're going to be a wagon
They're
next
gonna
year.
be they're gonna be tough to beat next year.
Yeah. As far as the Panthers go, I think I like everything we've done. I think we've done
I think
all the
that we've
moves
done the
that we
best we can, right?
expected.
Yeah.
Look, you got Rhino on an amazing. Like I thought he got eight. Whoa, you good there? He got Rhino on the 8-year deal for 8.5. I think that's fantastic for a guy that could have asked for 10.
Right.
He could have probably gotten 10 or 11 anywhere else in the league. Second leading scorer, Stanley Cup the Stanley Cup winning goal. So, dude had everything going for him. We got him locked up for the next 8 years. That's amazing. Who else do we sign? Kulikov, he's staying. He got a long deal. Today they announced Lundell, 5-year deal. That's another great one. Especially he's a kid. He's 20 years old, 21 years old. The core's locked up. Definitely, we're gonna have to rebuild that defense though. The defense is basically we've seen
Montour's
it.
probably gone. So
Montour's gone. Montour signed an 8 years, 7.5 or almost $8 million
right. So
deal
then
with
Montour's
Seattle.
gone.
Montour's gone. Lomberg just signed a deal with I forgot who for $2 million a year, 3 years, $2 million.
Okay.
So he's gone. Lawrence is gone, the goalie, but not a big loss. Ekman Larson, OEL, he signed a 4-year deal with Toronto. So you're seeing a lot of the guys on the back end.
Lomberg signed with the Flames.
Flames, yeah. I knew it was a Canadian team. I forgot which one.
Yeah.
Actually, going back to the Calgary because he was there before, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he was there before. And then,
Talk
but
about a
good for
guy
him,
who was
man.
celebrating hard that Stanley Cup, dude.
Yeah.
Proud, sir.
Look, and honestly, I can't, you hate to see some of these guys go just because we've all grown to love this team and everybody on it. But, man, look, well deserved for all these guys. Go get your money. You want your cup. Go get your money. Go get your long-term deals. The NHL money isn't like the NBA or even the NFL where these guys, they like we said, we're talking about the biggest contracts are 8-year, 8 million a year kind of thing, 10 million a year. Those are the huge contracts.
Right.
So it's not like you're getting 250, $300 million contracts like in these other sports. Right. That's why you see things like the state income tax is such a huge deal in the NHL for these guys. Mm-hmm. Like, playing for a team with, like, they were even talking about the next bargaining agreement that might even come up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, special salary cap rules for teams with no state income tax because it's. I don't think anything will ever happen because that's just how it fucking works.
It's the benefit of being in Florida, baby.
Yeah, being in Florida, but like
the Panthers, but darn,
like, you're starting to see it with, if you look at all these teams with no state income taxes, the Dallases, the Nashville, Vegas, Florida, like all these are teams in states with no state income tax, and they're able to sign these guys on what you would consider a sweetheart deal. What you would have to pay 12 million, 11 million in Toronto for, you can get for 9 in one of these states.
I have a quick question. Maybe the answer to this, maybe you don't. These Canadian teams, do they pay in dollars or do they pay in, what are they called in Canada?
Canadian?
Yeah, in like Canadian.
Isn't there currency just like Canadian currency?
No, there's a name.
What is it?
Just give me a second.
Just Google, what is the Canadian currency called?
Is it just a Canadian dollar? Oh,
it's the Canadian dollar. It's Canada, dude. They're very unoriginal about certain things.
No, dude, they had like a name before. I think they were like called loonies or something like that. Loonies and toonies. Canada, loonies and toonies. Oh, but they're the coins. See,
Also,
I was wrong.
if it was called Loonies and Toonies, I would have changed the name to Canadian Dollar. Also, I just call it the Canadian Dollar too.
Bro.
That's
If
gonna
I
be
had my money,
20.
it was called
That's gonna
loonies
be
and
20
toonies.
Toonies. That's gonna be 20 Loonies and Toonies.
Yeah,
I'd be looking at it. What the? Like,
it is what it is. But do they get paid? Do you know if they get paid in American or Canadian dollar? Because Lomberg deals 8-year, whatever it is, 20 million Canadian dollars or US dollars?
U.S.
For sure.
Like when we're talking about the contract, when they say whatever 4 years, 2 million, they're talking about 2 million U.S.
Okay.
I don't know. Now I don't know when he goes to Canada when he gets paid, if he gets converted to Canadian.
Sure.
I would imagine so, since you're living in Canada, you want your money
I
in
think
Canadian.
supposedly these athletes get paid. I'm not sure how it works for athletes actually, because I know like in the United States, right? If you work in Florida, then you get paid. You don't have to pay taxes. But let's say I work for a Florida company, but I move, or they send me to Georgia for 6 months, then I have to pay 6 months worth of my salary needs to be paid in Georgian state tax,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know if every time they come to play a game in Georgia, if Panthers go to play in Atlanta,
No, I think it's done. It's probably done by their. It's done by their
it's very interesting. I wonder how it works. Somebody who knows the
local tax.
business, let us know.
Yeah, that I don't know, man. I don't know the ins and outs. I'm not a GM or
I need you to
a
be
front
a
office guy.
GM, Hav.
I just know what these guys are signing for. They're getting a lot of money, and I'm not getting any of it.
But yeah, the free agency has been great for NHL. I think a lot of teams have gotten a lot better. The Panthers, that they're making moves.
It's been fun because you don't see this in NHL free agency. Usually, it's not like the NBA or stuff or the NFL where free agency hits and you get a lot of action. Usually, it's not like that. I think this year, next year, you're seeing it a lot because the salary cap went up a lot. So these guys are just slinging money around. You saw it. Day one, it
Yeah.
was like I think it was like $100 million.
Also, they've done a better job promoting, like we talked about. The league itself has done a better job promoting everything, like their draft and all that stuff. They're making these big shows about it. They went to the Las Vegas Sphere for the awards and the draft and stuff like that. And I love that, man. I think that's great for the league, and it's been a lot of fun to be a part of it.
Hockey's probably the best place it's been in
Years.
50 years. 50 years easily.
Yeah. Since our boy Gretzky left, man.
Yeah, at least from a professional standpoint and popularity and ratings and all that, I think they got something special, especially with the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's just become so entertaining and it's become a thing. Everybody knows, just the casual sports fan knows the Stanley Cup playoffs is really fun. And it's the playoffs. Oh, I'll watch it. I'm just at a bar.
It's the best playoffs in sports.
Is awesome. It's great. Like everybody knows that now, and I think the sport's in a great place.
And hockey's easy enough to watch. Like you could go in to watch hockey and know what's happening. Like it's a very simple game in the sense of there's not that many rules and you mostly every
you may not understand every single whistle or why or whatever, offsides or icing or all that kind of stuff and all the little stoppages.
Yeah.
The gist. There's 5 guys against 5. There's goal. You got to score. There's penalties. There's fighting. Like people get the gist. It's one of the best games in the world, man.
Best games in the world, man.
And we got the best team.
At least for right now, we could say that for a while.
Let's see, man. I think we're going to be good for a long time.
Until proven otherwise.
I think we're going to be good for a while. I think maybe not cup winning team every year, but we're definitely going to be a playoff team for years to come.
Contender.
Yeah, definitely.
Have one thing I want to talk to you. Something recently I've been watching, especially that I've been watching some UFC fight and some racing and stuff like that. I know that politics and sports has always been intertwined, right? There's always been a place for politics to seep into sports. But have you noticed it more lately, or am I just seeing things because it's in my face all the time?
I think it's definitely been ramped up. I think it's always been. You look back, there's always been big moments where certain athletes have made political statements.
Sure,
the Olympics,
the Olympics. You had the U.S. boycotted the Olympics in the 80s.
Yeah, so we have seen them, but I think you've seen it more prominent in your everyday sports now. I started to notice it during COVID. I think that's when it all picked up. I think
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, I think that was just during that time. I think that's when this world was upside down and everybody had an opinion. And I just think so. During that time, you saw a lot more athletes start to use their platform, even I say the COVID time. I'm not saying specifically just because of COVID,
Right.
because like even before COVID started, you have the whole Kaepernick thing, and so I'm just to date it that 2018, 2019. So I'll say the last 5 years or so.
Sure.
I feel like you've seen an uptick in it. I think you're seeing a lot more athletes use their platform to say what they feel. Is it a good thing? I don't know. I guess it depends on who you are. As a fan, personally, I have an issue with guys with bringing politics in to an extent, but I'm not going to not watch sports because some dude said something that he thinks whatever, he's got to stand politically and he said something. I'm not going to just stop watching that sport because of it. I think that's ridiculous, which I know some people do. We're all here for the sport of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Right. People said that they weren't going to watch the NFL because they were taking a knee or some
yeah,
stuff
like
like that.
exactly. Like I saw people, yeah, exactly. When Kaepernick was, oh, I'm never watching the NFL again. I'm like, dude, relax. Or like
Who
during
cares?
the Black Lives Matter, oh, I'm not gonna. Oh, these guys, all these people are kneeling for the anthem. Oh, I'm not gonna. I'm not watching the NBA anymore or anything like that. Or UFC. You see a lot of people always going on there saying stuff for Trump and all that. And people, oh, I'm never boycott the UFC. Look, everyone's gonna have their opinion. That's the equivalent of, oh, you go on and say, oh, I feel this way about something, and then everyone's, oh, boycott your business. I'm gonna use Kevin's construction company. I'm gonna listen to this pod because
Yeah.
everyone's got their opinion. Everyone
I
has their
think
opinion. Everyone's entitled to it. Like
kind
I'm gonna stop watching sports because of it. I think there's a place for it. I would like to see. Uh, I want to say I would like to see less of it because I do think there's some good in it, but I don't want to see it get taken to the point where sports stops to be about sports
yes,
and
sure.
it's just a lot of grandstanding. And then because the second you start bringing too much politics into sports and people start protesting games, and you even start people start pressing athletes that, oh, why you shouldn't even play in this game because so and so said this, and then you're just ruining the sport, you're ruining the game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Sure. I think for athletes across the board, I think it's important for them to feel they have a voice, right? These guys are heroes
Yeah.
for not only us morons that are adults and fall in love with a children's game, but they're heroes for children. And they set examples for children who see themselves playing these sports and who like they adore these people and they respect them and they love them and they want to know what they think. And I think athletes have that ability to make a difference in however they feel necessary, right? However, their opinions, they should have the right to say how they feel. Granted, I do think that athletes need to be careful because of that position to understand that they have influence over people and over children and that their words do have meaning, but I think it's a good thing always to state your opinions. I come from a very opinionated family myself. Hav, I know you're very hyper opinionated. We have a podcast where we all we do is so I think it's important and those people have a right to say whatever they need to say and I just think that they need to be careful. They do mine and your words matter less to them, right? Because as theirs because we don't have as much influence as they do. They literally have
Yeah,
influence over
we don't have
millions of people. We have your mom who listens to us. That's it. I think that those guys, when athletes make political statements, I think the world listens. For good or for bad, either way, they listen. And I've just noticed it a lot recently, and I wanted to ask your opinion about it. And yeah, you're like with me. It's not a. I
I
say I
think
think
yeah.
as long as it doesn't take away from the sport. Them talking about it. Granted, there has been times where we've had the Milwaukee Bucks refuse to play after they made a political statement. People refuse to play for Donald Sterling. It's happened before in the NBA, and I'm sure it's going to happen in the future. Women's national teams, sometimes they refuse to pay without equality, stuff like that. I think as long as they do it with the right mindset and with good intentions, I think it's okay. I just would hope that fans don't overreact and sometimes they could be very mean and very what's the word I'm looking for? Very under not understanding, right? Like they could be monsters to these athletes. The whole shut up and play and put your head down. All you do is play
Yeah.
basketball. That's not true. Like these guys are people.
Yeah, look, it's a tough spot to be in for anyone.
Yep.
Like the athletes, especially nowadays, where you do ask them, and they do, you know, they're under such a microscope. These guys are in front of cameras and press
Like
conferences
they've
every
never
single
been
day,
before, ever in the history of sports,
ever.
right?
And look, and let's be honest, it's also part of the media these days too. They're going to press these guys. They're going to ask questions. So sometimes these guys, like, they may not even
Have an opinion. Yeah.
have an opinion on it, but they're asked for it, so they'll just say whatever. Okay, I'll give you an opinion on it, and they say it, and then they get crushed for it, or they piss somebody off, or whatever, or it gets blown up, and they're like, "Dude, like this guy just asked me a question, I answered. You know, what do you want me to do? Yeah, he asked me, I answered. It's how I feel. Like,
It's just be decent, people. Just fucking be decent. That's
yeah,
all I
look,
ask.
we're all human. I mean,
Be decent.
yeah. I don't
It's
think it's.
like,
I don't think it's a huge deal in sports. As long as it doesn't, like, to me, like I said, as long as it doesn't affect the sport. Like the stuff I hate is, like, we saw in the golf tournament the other day. These people doing like a climate protest for oil or something like that in the middle of the golf course. Like,
didn't make any sense. All they did was
that,
destroy
what are you do-
five
what are you
minutes
doing?
of TV. That's all they did.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It's like urinal etiquette, man. Just learn it. Figure it out.
Exactly. Time and a place.
Urinal etiquette is important. Are you a weirdo in the
Urinal etiquette,
Yeah, there's rules.
of course.
If
You always go right next to the guy that's peeing. Right?
no,
I'm kidding.
you are
right?
you are the urinal weirdo, dude. I knew it. I said I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Oh, you got to give a space, man.
There's always
You
a
always
space.
gotta-
You only go in between when there's nothing else.
If there's 3 urinals and one guy's in the middle, then he's an asshole.
Yeah. If that and it's tricky, right? Because sometimes you feel like an asshole because you're the third guy that comes in the middle and then the other 2 leave. And that's also rude
Yeah, too bad.
because you don't want to be the guy that, but it happens.
No,
It
but at that
happens.
point, too bad.
At that point, it happens. There's
Now,
lots
if you
of,
get there and there's 3 urinals and they're all empty, and you
And
don't
you go
take
in the
one of the
middle,
side ones,
you're a
you're
douche.
you're a fucking weirdo too.
You're a douche.
You just want people to look at you.
Could we list all the urinal etiquettes now that we're in this? I think we could have a bunch here.
I guess it goes from person to person, but yeah, sure.
No, there's a standard.
There is.
Like what we're just saying. So rule 1, if there's 3 urinals and they're all empty, you go to one of the sides. You don't go to the one in the middle.
Yeah, basically, yeah, you can never just go to the urinal right next to the guy. If there's a urinal in between, try and leave a urinal in between.
Yeah, you're trying to get the urinal between. Obviously, there's exceptions. If there's 2 people there, you need a pee, you go to the middle one.
Now, to be honest with you, can I tell you something though? Like, I follow your urinal etiquette, but I don't really give a fuck. Dude, we go to bars and it's a trough, and we all just pee in a trough at some bars.
This is also depends on the bathroom you go to.
Like,
But there's
like,
also
what
like
are we doing here, bro?
listen.
We pee on a tree. Who cares?
But there's also etiquette there. Like you don't look at the other guy while you're peeing. You look straight ahead. You know?
To me, the number one rule is just like handle your business and don't
Eyes on the
look right
prize,
or left.
baby.
Like,
Eyes on the prize.
eyes on the
Handle your
prize.
business.
Yeah, when you're in a urinal, it's eyes straight ahead or eyes straight down. Nowhere else.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Straight ahead, straight down.
No
finish
touching.
up.
You're not allowed to touch anybody while they're peeing. That's weird.
Turn around, go wash your hands, and just get out.
Don't touch my shoulder if I'm peeing. It's uncomfortable.
Oh, that's weird. Who touches? You've been touched while peeing?
Oh, plenty
Somebody's
of times,
done that?
dude. Oh yeah.
That's
yeah.
so weird.
They're like,
That's
hey
so
man, how's it
weird.
going? Dude, let me finish.
Don't
Let
fucking
me
touch,
finish.
bro. I'm holding my dick. Don't touch me.
To me, a super important one, especially now that there's more unisex bathrooms. If there's a urinal in the unisex bathroom, you use the urinal. Don't use the toilet like a monster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, toilets are
I feel like-
gross. They're gross.
I feel like I don't know. I don't think I've ever gone into a bathroom, seen a urinal and a toilet, and picked the toilet. I think if there's a urinal, I have to pee.
I'm just saying it's weird. First of all, girls are gross. They can't control. It's not their fault. They can't control where their pee goes. They're usually squatting to protect themselves, and then just piss everywhere.
It's true. It goes all.
It's
Girls' bathrooms are kind of. We get shit on, but girls' bathrooms are gross too.
Yeah, they're absolutely gross. Guys, when they're drunk, they're hammered. Their piss goes everywhere. So hidden in the urinal. At least you have a backstop.
Well, that's why they give us those troughs when you go to those bars. It's just
The troughs
like
are the worst.
like
The
cattle.
troughs with the ice are the worst. Those are uncomfortable for everybody. Because
Nobody
sometimes
wants
the
that.
ice melts and it just shoots right back at you. The angle that the ice hits, it's the
Yeah.
worst, dude. It's the worst. What are the other rules? Oh, there's no looking, no talking. You could talk,
No, talking. I think talking is fine.
but you gotta look straight.
I guess it depends on also. If you're at a sporting event, you could talk.
You can't pull your pants down. That's a big one. Like a little kid with his butt out, peeing.
Yeah. No adult should ever do that. Ever.
Oh, I had a teacher once that we were all peeing and we had the space in the middle because we're men. The guy came straight in between, pants down to his ankles, starts peeing us.
Shut the fuck up.
What's going on here? Yeah, dude, it was wild.
What?
I don't know if he was doing it as a joke or not, but that was a wild time in my life.
Dude,
I talked about
what?
that for years.
That is
Butt
psychopath.
out.
behavior.
That's psychopath. Like an adult man, pants down to the ankles.
Yeah, weird. This conversation is getting weird. You had some weird teachers, dude.
I have a personal rule where if you use you know how they have the little kids urinal and it's shorter, like it's lower to the ground.
I hate those.
I know I hate those, but if you pee in one of those, you have to say, "Ooh, that water's cold." Like you have to. I have to do it.
Oh my god.
That's like a personal rule of mine.
That's not a rule. You're just an idiot.
Nah, hey, listen, it's a rule. You gotta say it. Ooh, that water's cold.
Ooh, that water's cold.
Yeah.
like that
Urinals that go all the way to floor, gross, awful. Those should be banned.
Oh, I hate those.
Always get stuff on your shoes. Ugh. Any more urinal etiquette things we need to worry about?
Urinal etiquette? We got it covered. Keep your eyes to yourself.
Eyes to yourself. No touching. Eyes on the prize, baby. And no touching. Hands to yourself.
And always give space when you can.
Can you touch toes?
Touch toes? What the fuck do you do in a urinal, dude?
Could you imagine you're next to me? No, I don't do this. But can you imagine you're next to me and my toes just touch your toes while you're peeing?
And we have shoes on, so our shoes would be touching, but it would be
Well,
weird
you know
if
what I mean. It's even weirder. What if we both had flip flops and our toes interlocked while we were peeing?
I punch you. We would throw hands.
We would throw hands. That's a fight.
You're so weird, bro. You're always talking about my hair, urinal rules.
Nah, hey, listen, the hair talks to itself about itself. Listen, a little housekeeping here. We do have something. We have a little thing coming up. Do you want to talk about it?
Oh, is this the
geocache? Let me see if I can.
Yeah.
Guys,
this is going to be fun, actually. I'm excited about this.
If you're listening to us or watching us, I'm holding up a sticker. It's here. It says First Step Podcast Geocache. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be placing these all around South Florida for now. We're going to be placing little cache, and we'll tell you guys where it are. I'll be posting it on Instagram. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and on TikTok, and you will get hints on where these bad boys are. And all you have to do is find the geocache and use the money however you want. We personally think that you should bet it on like a juicy parlay or something like that. And all we ask is you tag us in it. This is free money for you guys. You just have to find it. I'm super excited for it. You will get an alert anytime.
The idea would be to take the money, place a bet with it.
Yeah.
And show us the bet.
Yeah, show us the bet. That's the deal. That would be ideal. But if you want to buy like a drink, I'm not going to hate on it. Just let us know.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I personally think you should put it on a nice juicy parlay. If someone gave me $5, that's what I'm going to do on a 10-leg parlay and go nuts. But that's me. But you will get alerts on that. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys sign yourselves up for alerts. Links down below. Do all the things you need to do. Find them. Enjoy it.
I think it'll be. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun little game.
I think it's gonna be fun.
I'm excited. Question:
I don't want you to look for it yourself.
If I was gonna say, what if I go out and start finding?
No. What I'm gonna try to do is putting it all in our favorite watering holes, so that I could constantly keep an eye out on them.
I like it.
You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm in. I want to see some fun parlays.
I want to see some fun parlays hit. I want to see them hit. I don't even just want to see them. I want to see them hit.
Yeah. What else we got coming up? We're in the dark days of sports here.
Dark days of doldrums, man. We're in the doldrums. So next week, I think we'll probably hit up more Euros and Copa. We'll probably finish up all these games that we talked about today. We'll be on to the semis. We're in quarterfinals now, so we'll be in the semis then. We'll have more free agency talk, I'm sure. And we'll be jumping into Olympics and even talk football, man. We're getting into football soon. I'm pumped about it. College football is coming up in a heartbeat. And
I guess we also have next week we'll get back into golf. We got some big golf stuff.
We got some big golf. We got the Open, the Scottish Open. Yeah.
The British Open. We got some big golf stuff coming up, so we can get into that. That'll hopefully hold us over.
Yeah, and don't forget, you also have your wet t-shirt contest you're being a part of next weekend for July 4th. We'll put that up on YouTube, your wet t-shirt contest.
I'm doing a what?
Oh, what? You don't remember?
No,
You said it last pod. You promised all the
I didn't.
viewers.
I didn't get that email.
No, you said it on the pod. You promised all the viewers for a wet t-shirt contest. We signed you up for it. It's going to be super nice. You get a free suntan lotion if you win.
Okay, sure. I'm in. Let's do it.
All right,
I'm a man of the people.
Man of the people. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. Make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe below. Make sure you guys give us 5 stars on Spotify. If you listen on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to us. Make sure you comment something. That would be nice. I would love to hear from you. Hobbs gets very sad if he doesn't hear comments.
I do. I read every single comment.
They're all from your mom or from...
It's 3 comments, so it's not very hard to read all of them. But yes,
the sad ones are, I'm so disappointed in you, son, by Tommy. But here we are. I try to defend you. I try to defend you.
You're an animal.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to First Step. We told you we don't take this too seriously, didn't we? I'd say we've proven that. Yes, we love sports, and we love sports betting. But we like the funner side, not the stuffy side. We hope you had a blast like we did. If so, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on Instagram and TikTok at First Step Bets. See you next time on First Step.